Yeah, I mean, the tariffs were the biggest heart attack on earth. 50% tariff on India, I'm done. But here we are, Royal Enfield didn't put a tariff on the bike. They're eating it, and we're just selling bikes.
If you watch a lot of YouTube, you might get the sense that motorcycling is dying off in the United States and across the world. The reality is the numbers are declining, both for sales and ridership. And some of that has to do with the economy. Some of it has to do with new tariffs being imposed, making the cost of buying a new motorcycle a little bit out of reach for some people. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're aging out. Gone are the days when kids sit around in study hall looking at motorcycle magazines and dreaming about the day they become of age and can get their first bike, whether that's a Harley or some sort of Honda or whatever. Those days are kind of over. Young people these days are into e-bikes and stuff like that, and I don't know what else kids are into these days because I'm not a kid. The point is that, yeah, we are kind of aging out, and there's not a whole lot of folks there to replace us as motorcyclists. And so there is some truth to the rumor that motorcycling is dying out a little bit in the United States, and like I said, across the world. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There's an interesting trend going on now where folks are gravitating towards smaller displacement, less expensive, and lighter bikes. Whether it be something adventurous like the Himalayan 450, or whether it's something you could just putz around on like a Royal Enfield Classic 350 or something like that. Royal Enfield is doing some amazing things in the motorcycle industry right now. And there's one shop here in Portland, Oregon that seems to be thriving, or at least keeping their heads above water. That's Sabatino Moto in St. John's, an area in North Portland. And today we're gonna go visit the shop. We're gonna meet the owner, Eric Sabatino, and some of his crew. We're gonna talk about Royal Enfield motorcycles. We're gonna have a look around the shop, and we're gonna talk about what the future holds for both Sabatino Moto and the motorcycle industry in general. Stick around, this should be a good one.
My name is Eric Sabatino. This is Sabatino Moto. We have been a dealership for about 9 years, in this space for about 4 years. Before it was officially a shop, I was repairing bikes out of my home garage. And that got busy enough that I didn't need my day job. My first shop, which was at the bottom of the hill, almost under the St. John's Bridge there, and that was just me doing service by myself, primarily on old vintage scooters. So Vespa, Lambretta, French mopeds. We started to get into regular motorcycles, if there is really a difference between the two things. It was an appointment-only service shop. Suddenly you see the shop one block away where we opened up the dealership, and all I had was like just a regular house-style wooden door to get in. So you see a little copy print banner that says Sabatino, moped and scooter, vintage repair, and 3 old bikes parked on the sidewalk out front of a, gray painted piece of plywood. And then eventually we were able to rent the rest of that building. At that point, we had mopeds from a European company called Tomos, and our accounts with Genuine Scooter Company and Sim, which is another scooter company. And we started doing a lot of auction bikes and used bikes. We moved over here after the Royal Enfield thing came in because we just needed more square footage.
So how did you end up getting a Royal Enfield franchise?
I was selling used bikes and buying them off auctions, and I picked up an Interceptor 650 and loved it. I was like, why is this bike so good? Why can't I buy one anywhere around here? Contacted them, and they didn't really take us seriously right away because we were a small shop. We primarily sold scooters and used bikes. And most of their franchises in this region were in Harley or Triumph dealers that were pretty big. The financial buy-in to sell any new OEM is pretty crazy. You've got to come up with about $150,000 to sell Royal Enfield even. It's probably close to $500,000 to do Triumph or something like that, and I don't have money, so it was all really tricky, you know, borrowing from my own home equity and things like that to make it happen. But that was after I got them to take me seriously, and I got a couple of "sorry, we're not interested" responses, and just was persistent. I knew that we needed a dealer in this area. You know, it's the right area for this kind of bike. I knew we could sell them if we could just figure out how to get them.
Give me the broad landscape of what the motorcycle industry is like right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about it being harder. I didn't sell as many bikes last year as, you know, before all of this stuff started happening. Certainly, I think money's tighter, but we're fine. I mean, it's January. It's Portland. It's rainy. It's gray. It's going to be slow. And I have a hard time always getting my head wrapped around the 12-month view and not just seeing, okay, well, right now it's slow because, you know, I'm not selling as many bikes in January. But I paid my bills, and I gave a couple people the raise that I really wanted to give them. And, you know, we are trucking along just fine. I think we're a leaner business, though. You know, we're small. I mean, I'm the owner and I'm behind the front counter every day. You know, there's just 5 of us, and we're just all in it every day. And most of these dealerships are huge, and you see these buildings. I mean, I don't know how many millions of dollars it costs to build the buildings that these larger multi-brand dealerships are in, but the overheads have to be crazy. So I imagine it's a lot harder, or maybe it's easier because they just have millions of dollars in the bank. I don't know, but we're trucking along.
Are the bigger motorcycle conglomerates sort of dying off, and given the vibe that the whole motorcycle industry is dying, but at the same time, is it that the smaller shops are starting to rise up to fill that gap, or?
I don't know. I honestly feel like I don't even belong in this industry because I don't know what's going on, and I'm just in this building with my friends, just having a pretty good time with these bikes and working on all the vintage stuff and selling the Royal Enfields. And I don't always know what it's like, and there's a lot of imposter syndrome for a guy like me, you know. The whole thing is definitely engineered to keep little guys like me out.
Yeah.
You know, so we just kind of somehow got somebody to actually sign a contract and give us these motorcycles, and we sell them, and it's awesome. I've learned to not panic over the last, 9 years of running a dealership, because I'll read a piece of news that seems to say, you're going out of business on Thursday because of this new thing that's happening. And yeah, I mean, the tariffs were the biggest heart attack on earth, 50% tariff on India, I'm done. But here we are, Royal Enfield didn't put a tariff on the bike. They're eating it. And we're just selling bikes pretty well.
Yeah.
Enough, this time of year, not as much, but it's still fine, really. I mean, I generally, when it's time to write my landlord a massive check, I can find that money without overdrafting quite. So, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
So, if you watch YouTube at all,
yeah,
which I try not to,
yeah,
it's the death of motorcycles. The motorcycles dying. So there's 3 things, right, contributing to that: the economy in general, the tariffs specifically, and then the idea that motorcyclists are aging out, right? And so, is that something that you're seeing, or is a motorcycle like a Royal Enfield something that's actually bringing younger riders in? Because across the board, it seems like younger riders aren't coming on board anymore.
I think I'm seeing that. And I think maybe if you're selling a brand that, is more of a $30,000 buy-in, you're not going to see a lot of young people get into it, because young people don't have money. We re-engineered the economy, so only the old people have the money. And, people are in their 40s and still living with roommates. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing tons of young people, tons of women, tons of whatever you would maybe say, according to these YouTube videos, are not the traditional new rider segment, getting into bikes every day in here. But the Hunter's $4,000 out the door right now, so that's awesome. And then you've got wheels, and you've got fuel economy, and you're set, you know? Maybe for something like that, or for a lot of these scooters, it's an alternative to having to buy an expensive car.
Yeah. What's your top-selling Royal Enfield right now?
The Himalayan 450, by a long shot.
By a lot?
Yeah, I mean, that's the bike. That bike changed everything.
Why is that?
It's great. I mean, your YouTube channel
Yeah, I
talks
like
about
it.
it a lot.
I
You
like
like
it
it a
quite a
little?
bit, yeah, yeah.
No, I like it too. I have one. It's the only modern motorcycle in my garage at home. It's affordable, but it's also incredibly functional. I mean, it will do anything. You can, I say this line constantly, you can get a speeding ticket anywhere in the United States on it. So it clearly has more power than you need. And it's light and it's balanced. And if you want to get into the dirt and the rocks and the gnarly stuff, it's probably gonna keep you upright, you know? Where even that KLR that I was just talking about, how much I loved riding, it's really an older technology and top heavy, and there's a lot more of a chance of me making a mistake and paying for it on a bike like that than this.
Yeah.
But it still has a good character, you know? Everybody that owns these bikes falls in love with these bikes. It's a really common story. What you say on your channel is actually a lot of what people who are coming in here for an oil change are like, man, this is the best.
Yeah.
Why did I ever ride a 1100cc GS when I could have just had this? Well, it didn't exist.
Right.
I think technology just got here now where we can do all this with a little 450 engine. You know, that is a great power plant.
That's one of my favorite engines.
We're going to do a lot with it. You know, I think that they have a lot I'm sure they spent a ton of money trying to perfect that, and they're going to get a lot of mileage out of that power plant, I think.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I'm excited to see what they're going to do next.
So tell me where you think you see Sabatino Moto going over the next 5 or 10 years.
I've made a joke a lot of times that I'm the cockroach of the power sports industry, because I never was really meant to be allowed into this anyways, and we just always find a way to make it work. We'll just be doing this, and hopefully we'll become more efficient at it, and hopefully the word gets out that we're here. If I can sell more parts online, that'll help me get through the slow season over the winters. And if we can become more of a household name and ship more things, you know, that'd be great. But I don't really want to change anything. I just want to do this and watch it grow and see what Royal Enfield comes out with, see what Moto Morini comes out with. The RA scooters are going to come out with a really exciting new line of smaller bikes that'll fill out the scooter end of the shop, and just keep on going like this, really.
Any other brands coming on board?
Not that I'm planning on. You know, I've had some ideas, but I think the smartest thing would be to remain focused and small and efficient and just do this because it works and we can do it. You know, there's only 5 of us, and it's just the 5 of us every day, and we're all really invested in it. You know, it may have started with me fixing bikes, but I mean, Haley runs this whole shop. She's the boss. She's the manager. Casey runs service. Kat's here every day, just constantly changing tires and adjusting valves nonstop. David's all over the place, running the whole online store, selling bikes, meeting every neighborhood dog. I mean, it's a really good crew, and it works super well.
So in the end, while the motorcycle industry may be suffering a bit right now because of various factors, it's good to see a small independent shop like Sabatino sort of knocking it out of the park and thriving. It's a combination of being decent human beings along with selling a fantastic product and being present in a community that is just really hungry for a shop like Sabatino Moto to exist. I know as a motorcyclist that I feel super lucky to have shops like Sabatino and all the other small independent shops staying afloat here in my fair city. We all benefit from having small, thriving motorcycle shops in our cities. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this one, consider hitting the like button. Also, check out this video over here. I hear it's not so bad. I'll catch you on the next one.